Willie Dennis Njiru has pitched camp at Mai Mahiu, where he's following up closely on that situation where the road has been closed. Now I get to link up with Willie Dennis Njiru. Good evening, Willie Dennis Njiru. Now, right now, being that it is in the night and the road has been closed, and we're having some of the road users who are traveling and might not have had proper communication from Kenha. Is there a specific area that the road has been cordoned off and, the travelers are being asked to turn back?
Indeed, thank you very much, my colleague in studios, Dennis Otieno, coming to you live from Mai Mahiu town here in the county of Nakuru. Indeed, as you said, it has been a day of ups and downs for motorists flying from the junction at the tunnel from Mai Mahiu to Narok Road, where about 6 kilometers of that section of the road indeed had two cracks at two separate places, where initially we have had instances and incidents of a road having a major crack. Actually, it's a fault. By then it was a fault, not actually a crack. And as we speak as of now, those people from Nairobi all the way, assuming to use the junction, Narok Junction, Mai Mahiu-Narok Junction, have indeed been forced to head over straight to the Nakuru side, where they will find alternative routes so that they can be able to access Narok and alternative towns. The situation as is not so good, a bit of snarl-ups here and there. This road, classified as C65 road, is a major road in the country where trailers got to turn off from Limuru downwards the escarpment and then to Mai Mahiu, and then all the way around 36 kilometers to Naivasha town before again joining A104 roads, which is a trunk road. Dennis, perhaps you could have an interaction and pass on another question, if probably there is.
Njiru, just a follow-up question. What are some of the measures that have been put in place by the authorities
Dennis,
to help some of the travelers who were using that road, but now they've been stranded at that specific location, upon the closure of the road?
Yeah, as it is of now, the measures that have been taken by Kenha to avert further disorganization on the main highway for those people who are traveling is they have given alternative roads, that is Narok, Kisiriri, up to Mau Summit. Then they can have a turn-off at Njoro, which is classified as B18. Actually, if this is the case for anyone traveling at around this time and probably is not aware about the situation as is on the roads right now, it's going to be a bit hectic, because from here to Naivasha town is around 36 kilometers. Then you will have another 67 to Naivasha Nakuru town, and then from there to Mau Summit is almost another 40-something kilometers before you head to join that road, bearing in mind that from the junction around not so far from here, at this junction where you turn off on Mai Mahiu Road, you have 87 kilometers to Narok. And if you're headed to Narok, then it is going to be a bit hectic, and any motorist is asked to embrace, to dig deeper into their pockets to ensure that they have more petrol to endure the terrain. Alternative road that has been given is Narok Bomet Kiplong, classified as B7 by Kenha again, that you can access the routes depending on your destination. And following this, we are seeing a lot of inconveniences, and some of the people plying on this road have been forced to either alight and aboard other vehicles or pay more so that they can be able to be ferried, as it is the situation at the moment. Dennis?
At the moment, any responders on standby in the area, ready to contain the situation in the case there is an emergency?
I just spoke to a few the Red Cross team a few moments ago, based at Naivasha, who coordinates with those around this town of Mai Mahiu. But they have said actually they have been not given any indication or alarm to be joining for any emergencies around there. As the situation is that section of the road actually remains condoned off. No traffic, no vehicles are moving at that section. Just to try and paint a picture on actually how the situation is, a few years ago when we actually had a vault around that place, it was so big and it was so deep that Kenha actually utilized quite a resource to ensure that they have taken from a borrow pit and filled the vault so that actually they can repair part of the road that had actually caved in. This will be around 3 or 4 story buildings, because actually was indeed at that time and place as at when this was happening. And it was not so good situation, and actually it was quite risky for even those who give emergency services to access that place. Then we had an initial report and a similar incident further years back before that, where another vault actually had made another crack around there. So a section in between two is where now it is the risk area. And nobody is certain of what is going to happen. You remember, we are in volcanic area. Actually, Mai Mahiu is one of the most risky volcanic soils we have around this place of the Rift Valley, where the soil is so loose, extremely loose. Actually, for those who had a few clips circulating in the day, we saw some of these circulating images where water was actually running down and flowing to where nobody knows. And some of this, when it goes down, it makes the crust wet, and that results to further soaking of the soil, and possibly at any pressures this could cause more troubles. But these are issues we are going to see to it if Kenha is going to pick up from them tomorrow. Dennis, back to you, if we could possibly have a final question on this.
Yeah, final question to you, Willie Dennis. The Mai Mahiu Highway has always been plagued by cracks whenever we have long rains. Have you had any explanation from the Kenha officials as to what causes the phenomenon, or is it just a case of poor engineering on the road?
Right. Thank you very much for that question indeed. And like I just had a mention about it in the earlier question, the section of this road, actually the soil is so volcanic that even if we could laud the engineers for doing a commendable job, perhaps then they would have to do perhaps a story building of caving in, going down before they could actually place tarmac on the road. This section of the road, why it is so, much of the waters that come from Mount Longonot, which is far to my left side, the waters that come from there actually run down to this place and has found its way around beneath the soil here. Nobody understands how this actually happens beneath the soil. You remember also this part is said to have the geothermal steam fields, where the steam fields is supposedly receives its water that is turned into steam from the Lake Naivasha. So there happens to be a lot of seismic actual activities going down beneath the ground, rather not to have much of the geologists. But in the layman's language, you could say there's a lot of activities down there. And sometimes when the earth shakes, it caves in and gives a bit of room for a little shake-ups. And when we have sometimes water running down, it wets the place, and sometimes this road gets so weak. So perhaps an alternative of this will be to permanently change the road to another side where it will be regarded as a bit safe. But as of now, as I sum it up, perhaps tomorrow we'll be bringing you up to speed on the developments in regard to what is going to be going on at that place, bearing in mind that further and senior positions of KENHA will be visiting here, a bit of mobilization to maybe contain the situation and to assess the situation. But these are stories that will be keeping you up to speed to ensure that we brief the motorist on the situation as is. But as of now, it's a no-go zone. Actually, we are not even allowed to get closer to there, seemingly because of the situation as is. Dennis, if that is all okay from me, I take it back to you in studios. Perhaps you continue with other bulletin. From me here in Mai Mahiu, it's all a good night.
Well, thank you very much, Willie Dennis Njiru. That is our Naivasha-based reporter. He will be following up closely on that story.